On the 16th October, something shifts within you quietly but deeply. It's not a storm, not an explosion, but a silent turning of the soul. This day doesn't come to fix what's broken outside you. It comes to awaken the calm that has always lived inside. You've been running, searching, trying to escape the noise, but now 16th October stands as a mirror. It shows you that peace has never been lost. It has only been buried under layers of restlessness, fear, and endless striving. When the world spins faster, you begin to believe you must move faster too. But calm doesn't arrive through speed. It comes when you stop fighting with life and start breathing with it. On the 16th of October, you are invited to slow down, not because you're weak, but because calm is your natural state. Every time you pause, you remind yourself that you are not here to chase control. You are here to live with awareness. You are here to feel, to observe, to exist in the now. There's a stillness that waits behind every thought. Most people never reach it because they keep chasing louder voices. But 16th of October whispers instead of shouting. It tells you to listen. It tells you that silence is not emptiness, it's power. When you learn to be still, your inner world becomes strong enough to hold anything. You stop being a leaf thrown by the wind and become the mountain that the wind can't move. That's the gift of calm. Not the absence of noise, but the mastery of it. Look closely at how your thoughts behave. They rise, they fall, they demand your attention, they pull you away. But what if on this day you simply let them flow without reacting? The moment you observe instead of engage, you become free. The chaos in your head starts to lose its authority. You no longer belong to your worries, they belong to you. That's when peace enters, not as something new, but as something remembered. 16th October brings a moment of awakening, a reminder that you are not your emotions, you are the awareness behind them. You can feel sadness without becoming it. You can feel fear without surrendering to it. This realization doesn't come from books or words. It comes from silence, from sitting in that small space between one breath and the next where the mind softens and the soul begins to speak. There's a beauty in slowing down. When you move too fast, you miss life's details. The way sunlight touches a leaf, the sound of your own breathing, the quiet rhythm of your heart. Calm teaches you to see again. It sharpens your awareness until everything feels alive. On 16th of October, the air feels lighter not because the world changed, but because your attention did. You've returned home to yourself. True calm isn't fragile. It's not a temporary mood that disappears when life becomes hard. Real calm can walk through fire. It's the kind of strength that doesn't shout, doesn't compete, doesn't prove. It simply is. It holds its ground no matter what happens around it. This is what 16th of October wants you to remember, that you can live from that still center, that you can act without tension, speak without anger, and move without fear. Every challenge that comes your way is a test of that inner stillness. Some days you'll feel shaken, and that's natural. But even in the shaking, calm remains underneath. You may not feel it, but it's there, steady, patient, waiting for you to notice again. So when life pushes you, don't push back immediately. Step inside yourself first. Find that silent space, then respond. This is how calm becomes your power. Growth doesn't always roar. Sometimes it arrives softly in moments when you simply decide not to react, when you let go of the need to control how things unfold, when you trust that what's meant for you will reach you without struggle. On the 16th of October, growth looks like peace. It looks like you standing tall, but no longer tense. It looks like breathing deeply even when the world feels heavy. You've spent years searching for calm in people, in success, in escape. But the truth has always been simple. Calm begins when the search ends, when you stop chasing the illusion of a perfect life and start embracing the imperfection of this moment. That's where you find it, right here, in the breath, in the stillness, in the space that 16th of October brings you into. This day doesn't ask you to do more. It asks you to be more aware, to stop rushing toward what you already have inside, to sit, breathe, and realize that you've carried peace with you all along. Every breath is a doorway to return. Every pause is a reminder that calm is not something to build, it's something to uncover. So when the sun rises on the 16th October, let it rise within you too. Let it light up the corners of your being that you've ignored. Let it dissolve the noise. Let it teach you that calm is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's the quiet confidence of someone who no longer needs the world to be perfect before feeling peace. On 16th of October, you don't have to prove anything. You don't have to force anything. You just have to remember. The power you seek is already still within you. On the 16th October, life will test how deeply you've learned to let go. It will bring emotions that rise like waves, anger, confusion, sadness, restlessness, and it will whisper one quiet lesson beneath all the noise. You are not what you feel. You are the space behind it. Detachment from emotional turbulence is not about being cold. It's about seeing clearly. It's about standing in the middle of a storm and realizing that the storm is temporary, but you are not. This day will ask you to stop identifying with every emotion that passes through you. It will remind you that emotions are visitors, not permanent residents. They come, they stay for a while, and they leave. Yet most people turn them into their identity. They say, I am angry, I am sad, I am lost. But the truth is, you are simply feeling anger, feeling sadness, feeling lostness. The moment you stop saying I ams and start saying as I feel, you break the chain that keeps you tied to pain. 16th October will show you that freedom begins with awareness, not control. There is nothing wrong with emotion. It is energy in motion, the natural movement of life. But trouble begins when you start resisting what you feel. When you fight the sadness, it grows. When you fear the fear, it deepens. On the 16th of October, calmness is not about avoiding your emotions, but allowing them to move through you like wind through an open window. You don't hold it, you don't fight it, you just let it pass. You will notice that when you observe your emotions instead of becoming them, something magical happens. A small gap appears between you and the emotion. In that space, peace is born. That space is awareness, the most powerful tool you have. It allows you to respond instead of react. It allows you to see that you can feel anger without speaking cruelly, feel sadness without collapsing, feel fear without running away. That is strength, quiet, rooted, unstoppable strength. And on the 16th of October, you will begin to live from it. The world has taught you to fix your emotions, to change them, hide them, escape them. But 16th October teaches something else. It tells you that you don't need to fix what you only need to understand. Every emotion carries a message. Anger shows you where your boundaries were crossed. Fear points to what you still need to face. Sadness shows you what needs healing. When you detach, you can finally read those messages without drowning in them. You become the listener instead of the victim. Imagine yourself standing in a river. The water rushes around your legs, fast and cold. That water is emotion, constant, unpredictable, sometimes wild. But the riverbed beneath your feet is stillness, your awareness. No matter how rough the current, you remain grounded. 16th October is that river, a flow of energy, sensations, feelings. And you are the one standing steady, breathing, watching, learning. When emotional storms rise, remember nothing stays forever. Every emotion has a natural lifespan. It comes to rise, express, and fade. The problem is that you keep feeding it with thoughts, replaying stories that keep the emotion alive. On the 16th of October, you are invited to stop feeding the fire. Let the stories go. Don't explain them, don't justify them, don't fight them. Just breathe and let them burn out. What remains after that is clarity. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you care without losing yourself. You love without clinging. You give without expecting. You feel without falling apart. This is maturity. This is the calm that 16th of October wants you to embody. It's the calm of someone who has learned that peace is not found in control, it's found in surrender. There will always be noise outside, opinions, judgments, situations that stir emotions. But your power lies in what you do. F inside. On 16th of October, you can watch the world move without letting it move you. You can experience pain without letting it define you. You can walk through darkness and still carry your light. When you detach, you reclaim your energy. You stop bleeding emotionally into things that don't deserve your life force. You begin to protect your peace. Yeah. Your peace like something sacred, because it is. There is a point when you realize you don't need to react to everything. Silence becomes your response. Breathing becomes your action. Awareness becomes your weapon. That is when you've truly detached, when you no longer seek to prove, to fight, to explain. On the 16th October, life will show you how powerful that quiet can be. You'll begin to understand that emotional calm doesn't mean indifference. It means intelligence. It means you've learned that nothing outside you can truly disturb what you've built inside. Some emotions will still visit, and that's fine. Let them. Feel them fully, but let them go completely. Don't hold on to sadness like it's your story. Don't replay anger like it's your identity. Let everything move. Let everything breathe. The moment you stop clinging, the moment you stop labeling, you create space for peace to enter again. And that peace will not come as excitement. It will come as quiet clarity, soft, steady, unstoppable. 16th October is not a promise that you'll never feel turbulence again. It's a reminder that you can rise above it every time it comes. You are not your emotions. You are the ocean beneath them. Waves may crash, winds may blow, but the depth remains untouched. That depth is your truth. That depth is your calm. When the day comes, breathe deeply and remind yourself, I am here. I am aware. I am not my thoughts. I am not my emotions. And slowly, life will begin to unfold with more ease. The storms will lose their power. The noise will lose its grip. And in that silence that follows, you'll find something unshakable, the calm you've been praying for. On the 16th of October, life will teach you the sacred balance between action and acceptance. It will show you that real calm doesn't come from doing everything, and it doesn't come from doing nothing. It comes from knowing when to move and when to be still. Too often, people act from anxiety, rushing to fix, to prove, to control. Others freeze in fear, waiting for perfect conditions. But 16th October carries a different energy. It teaches that the strength of calm comes when action flows from peace, not pressure. You spent so much of your life reacting, pushing, forcing, chasing results, but nothing real grows from tension. When you act in desperation, your energy becomes scattered, your vision becomes foggy. Yet when you act from acceptance, every move is precise, powerful, and effortless. On the 16th of October, this balance begins to awaken inside you. It's the moment you learn that growth doesn't require struggle. It requires alignment. There's a rhythm to life that can't be controlled, only understood. The sun rises and sets, the tide flows and returns. Seasons change without resistance. You too are part of this rhythm. When you act in harmony with it, peace follows naturally. 16th of October is the reminder that there is a time to act and a time to allow. When you learn to feel the difference, life becomes smooth, graceful, almost silent in its power. Action without acceptance creates exhaustion. Acceptance without action creates stagnation. The path to calm lies between the two. You act when your heart feels ready, and you rest when your soul asks you to stop. You listen, not to fear, not to doubt, but to inner knowing. That's how you grow without breaking yourself. On the 16th October, you will feel this truth moving through you like water, gentle but unstoppable. When you accept something, you stop fighting with reality. You stop wasting energy trying to rewrite what already is. Acceptance is not weakness, it's clarity. It's the point where the storm inside your mind settles and you can finally see what needs to be done. From that stillness, your actions become clean, free from fear, free from the need to prove. Every decision feels lighter because it comes from awareness, not impulse. This is what 16th October invites you to practice: doing without forcing, moving without rushing, creating without tension. When you act from this place, your energy is pure. You are not chasing outcomes, you are expressing truth. The world responds differently to that kind of energy. Doors open, people listen. Life supports you because you're not fighting against its current anymore. Acceptance does not mean sitting still and hoping things will change. It means seeing clearly where you are and moving forward from truth, not denial. Some things need your action, your effort, your courage, your persistence. Others need your surrender, your trust, your patience, your silence. The wisdom is in knowing which is which. On the 16th of October, this wisdom begins to settle in your heart. You'll notice that when you stop resisting life, your mind becomes lighter. You act with precision, not panic. Even the smallest task feels meaningful because you're fully present in it. You don't rush through the moment to reach the next. You give everything, you do your full attention, walking, speaking, working, breathing. That's the balance, full effort, no attachment. There's power in letting go of control. You can plan, you can prepare, you can act, but after that you must release. You cannot control the outcome, only your intention. You cannot control the timing, only your readiness. When you learn to release, life becomes simpler. You stop carrying unnecessary weight. You begin to trust the natural flow of things. 16th October brings this lesson quietly, like wind moving through trees, soft but undeniable. Action and acceptance are like two wings of the same bird. Without one, you cannot fly. If you act without acceptance, you struggle against the wind. If you accept without acting, you never leave the ground. But when you use both, you soar. You move forward gracefully, not because you force, but because you align. That is what 16th October symbolizes: the day when your actions start coming from peace instead of fear. There's no need to rush your growth. Everything unfolds when it's meant to. Your only job is to stay awake, to listen, to act when the heart moves, and to rest when the soul whispers stop. This kind of awareness creates calm automatically. You don't have to chase peace, you just have to stop disturbing it. You will begin to see that balance is not a one-time achievement. It's a daily practice. Some days you'll act more, some days you'll wait. But as long as both are rooted in awareness, you remain in harmony. 16th of October becomes not just a date, but a state of being, a reminder that calm and movement can exist together, that peace and progress are not opposites. When the sun sets on the 16th of October, let that stillness settle into you. Let it teach you to walk lightly, to breathe deeply, to act intentionally. Life will continue to move, challenges will still appear, but you'll meet them differently, and you'll no longer rush to change everything. You'll respond from balance, and that balance will make you powerful in the quietest way. On the 16th of October, you stop running after calm and start living from it. You begin to act without fear and accept without hesitation. You start to understand that peace is not found by doing more or doing less. It's found by doing what feels right with full presence and no resistance. That is the calm you've been praying for. Not passive, not distant, but alive and awake in every action you take. On the 16th October, life slows down to the rhythm of your breath. Everything that felt heavy, loud, and complicated begins to soften. This day doesn't ask you to run, to chase, or to prove anything. It simply asks you to breathe, to remember that peace has always been one breath away. The breath is the bridge between chaos and calm, between confusion and clarity. It is the thread that connects the body to the mind and the mind to the soul. When you begin to breathe with awareness, 16th of October becomes more than just a date. It becomes a doorway back to yourself. You've spent years breathing without noticing, inhaling stress, exhaling tension, living on autopilot. But 16th October calls you to awaken inside your own breath. It tells you to pause, to feel the air enter your lungs, to feel it leave again. In that simple act, something sacred happens. The mind slows, the body releases. You start to see that you are not lost, you were simply disconnected from your own rhythm. The calm you've been praying for has always been hiding inside the breath you forgot to notice. The breath is not just air, it's awareness in motion. Every inhale gathers life, and every exhale lets go of what no longer serves you. When you breathe consciously, you are teaching your body how to live again. You are teaching your mind how to rest again. You are teaching your soul that it is safe. On the 16th of October, this practice becomes your healing. You don't have to change everything. You just have to return to what has always been with you. When the breath is shallow, the mind becomes restless. When the breath is steady, the heart becomes quiet. This is the secret of calmness, not found in books, not given by others, but created through the rhythm of your own lungs. The moment you control your breath, you begin to control your state. The world can still move around you, storms can still rise, but your breath becomes the anchor that holds you still. That is the power of awareness. That is what 16th of October is meant to awaken. Many people search for calm through external means, music, nature, silence. But these are only reminders, not sources. The real peace lives in the body, in the inhale and exhale that never leaves you. On the 16th October, take a moment and close your eyes. Feel your chest rise. Feel it fall. Listen to that soft sound of air moving through you. That is the sound of life itself. That is the sound of your own balance returning. You don't have to fight for it. You just have to listen. Every breath you take is an opportunity to release. You carry stories in your body, stress, regret, disappointment, fear. They live inside your muscles, your heartbeat, your posture. But with every conscious exhale, you release a little bit of that weight. On the 16th of October, let your breathing become your cleansing. Let it wash away the layers of worry. Let it open space inside you for something new to enter. You'll start to notice that calm doesn't arrive. It unfolds slowly, naturally, with every breath you take. The beauty of breathing is that it cannot happen in the past or future. It only happens now. That's why it's the most powerful teacher of presence. When you focus on your breath, the noise of the past fades and the fear of the future dissolves. You are brought back to this very moment, the only place where peace truly exists. 16th of October becomes a reminder that you don't need to escape your life to find stillness. You just need to breathe into it, even in moments of pain. The breath is your guide. When emotions rise, when your heart races, when thoughts spin out of control, pause and return to the breath. Don't force it, just notice it. Watch how the simple act of breathing with awareness calms the storm. That's how healing works. Quietly, gently, one breath at a time. Breathing is also the purest form of surrender. You inhale without effort, you exhale without force. It's a natural cycle of taking and letting go. This is the rhythm of life itself, to receive and to release. When you align with that rhythm, you stop clinging to what's leaving and stop chasing what's not yet here. You begin to trust the flow. On the 16th of October, this trust begins to take root. You realize that calm isn't something you control, it's something you allow. Through the breath, you also reconnect with your body, the part of you that always tells the truth. Your body knows when you are forcing, when you are resisting, when you are tense. But it also knows how to return to balance when you let it. On 16th of October, give it that permission. Breathe deeply into your chest, into your belly, into every corner that has forgotten what peace feels like. Let each breath remind you that you are alive, that you are here, and that being here is enough. There's a quiet strength that comes when you live in tune with your breath. You stop reacting impulsively. You start responding consciously. You become less controlled by the outer world and more guided by your inner one. You begin to move slower, speak softer, listen deeper. This is not weakness. This is mastery. And it begins with something as simple as breathing fully. As the light of 16th of October moves through the day, keep returning to your breath. When tension rises, breathe. When fear appears, breathe. When life feels too heavy, breathe. Each inhale is an invitation to begin again. Each exhale is a release of everything that no longer belongs to you. The breath never judges, never rushes, never abandons you. It waits patiently, faithfully, for you to remember it again. By the end of this day, when everything quiets down, take one last deep breath and feel how calm settles inside you. Not because the world became peaceful, but because you did. This is the lesson of 16th October, the realization that your breath is your refuge, your teacher, your constant reminder that peace has never left you. It was always there, hidden in the simple rhythm of inhale and exhale, waiting for you to come home. On the 16th October, life will quietly whisper to you the truth that peace begins where resistance ends. You have spent so much time trying to shape life, fix it, control it, push it to fit your idea of how things should be. But 16th October does not come to reward your struggle. It comes to teach you the power of surrender, to show you that letting go is not losing, it is returning to your natural state. The calm you've been praying for will not arrive through force. It will arrive when you finally stop fighting what already is. Every time you resist, you create tension. You tighten your chest, you close your mind, you block the flow of life that wants to move through you. But when you surrender, the body relaxes, the breath deepens, and the mind clears. Suddenly, everything that once felt impossible becomes light. This is not about giving up, it's about giving in to the moment, to reality, to truth. On the 16th of October, you are reminded that life is not against you. It's only asking you to stop standing in your own way. Surrender is strength. It's the kind of strength that doesn't shout or fight, but endures with quiet grace. It's the moment when you realize that not everything needs to be understood. Not everything needs to be fixed. Some things are meant to be lived through, experienced, and released. 16th October will bring you moments that test this understanding. Moments where your instinct will be to resist, to control, to question. But if you can pause, breathe, and allow things to unfold, something inside you will shift, and you are not the mind. You begin to feel the weight that's been sitting on your shoulders slowly dissolve. You've been trained to believe that control equals safety, but control is fragile. It breaks the moment life changes its course. The truth is, peace comes not from control, but from trust. Trust that what leaves was never meant to stay. Trust that what comes arrives at the right time. Trust that even the hardest days carry hidden meaning. On the 16th of October, you will feel this trust growing quietly, like light spreading through darkness. You'll realize that surrender is not a weakness, it's wisdom. When you stop resisting, you make space. Space for healing, for new opportunities, for growth that couldn't happen while you were busy holding on. Life cannot fill a closed hand. It can only give to the one that opens. Surrender is that open hand, soft, receptive, ready. It doesn't demand or chase. It simply allows. It knows that everything meant for you will arrive without struggle. Let this day be your teacher in softness. When things don't go your way, breathe and say, this too belongs. When someone doesn't understand you, don't rush to defend yourself. Let silence protect your peace. When something ends, don't chase its shadow. Bless it and let it leave. This is how surrender transforms you. You stop fighting with the world and you begin to move with it. You stop reacting and start flowing. You begin to live like the river, always moving forward, never clinging to the stones it passes. There's a moment in surrender when you realize that calm has always been waiting beneath the noise. It's like diving below the surface of a stormy ocean. The waves are wild above, but the deeper you go, the quieter it becomes. 16th October invites you to dive deeper, beyond fear, beyond doubt, beyond the endless urge to control. Down there, beneath the noise, there is stillness. That stillness is you. That is where you find peace, not because everything is perfect, but because you no longer need it to be. Growth through surrender is not dramatic, it's silent. It's the small choice to let go of the argument you'll never win. The quiet decision to forgive yourself for what you couldn't change. the gentle act of trusting life, even when you don't understand it. On the 16th of October, this kind of quiet courage begins to grow inside you. You start to realize that peace is not about removing storms. It's about learning how to stand still in the rain. Every ending has a purpose. Every delay hides direction. Every silence teaches patience. When you surrender, you start to see the wisdom behind what once felt unfair. You stop asking F, why me, and begin saying thank you for the lesson. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but 16th October marks the beginning. The beginning of living from flow, not from fear. When you surrender, you return to harmony. The heart beats slower, thoughts become lighter, and your presence becomes deeper. You start to move through life with quiet confidence. You understand that what's meant for you will find you, not because you chase it, but because you are ready for it. That readiness is born from surrender. As the day unfolds, you may feel old patterns trying to pull you back. The urge to rush, to worry, to hold on. But now you know better. You've tasted the calm that comes when you let go. So every time the old energy returns, breathe and release. Don't push against it. Let it pass through you like wind passing through an open field. There are ways of surrender. No resistance, no fear, only awareness. By the end of 16th October, you'll feel a different kind of peace inside you. Not the peace that depends on everything going right, but the peace that stays even when things go wrong. You'll understand that surrender is not about losing control, it's about gaining freedom. Freedom from worry, freedom from attachment, freedom from the endless need to make life fit your plan. On this day, you'll finally understand that letting go is not the end, it's the beginning. The beginning of trust, of flow, of calm that cannot be broken. 16th October becomes the turning point where you stop chasing peace and start living as peace itself.